The Jim and Terry Show, the and Terry, one more day before my good friend arrives. And I'm pretty excited to have someone to talk to. Someone to talk to, isn't that something? Sometimes you feel like you're on the outside of something looking in. Sometimes you feel like you're talking to yourself. Have you ever done that? Do you just carry on conversations at home as if someone was actually listening? Even though there may be someone present, they're not listening, or you think they're listening, but you're carrying on a conversation and there is nobody home? Whether that's physically or metaphysically, nobody home, nobody listening. You're just listening to the sound of your own voice for whatever reason. The other person disengaged and walked out of the room and you didn't even know that they were gone, and you're carrying on the discussion as though it was a discussion. Meanwhile, it's just you, yourself, and you merrily carrying on as though there was something meaningful going on, a meaningful exchange. Yeah, sometimes life is like that. What you think is going on isn't what's really going on. And maybe at times it feels like you're just doing it yourself. Here's an idea. What would you do with it? Well, what would you do with that? The file. That's all I've got a reference to. The file was called Vibrant 130G, November 10th. Wow, that wasn't too long ago. And it tells you how quickly some things evolve and take shape. That was a file that I sent to, again, Keith in Middlesbrough. And ask again the question, what do you hear? Where would you take this? What would you do? Would you restructure it? Would you build on it? In what way would you build on it? How do you build from something? Then, of course, the ultimate question is, once Keith goes to it and adds lyrics, vocals, layers, and guitars and bass, what happens to it? What happens to the final product? And because you pass it off with nothing outside of a label on a name, did it stay vibrant or did it change? Well, stay tuned. I'll put the whole tune at the end. Again, these songs are available at the terrywigmore.com Wix site. Scroll down to the bottom to our latest album for 2023. Wrapping it up. I think we have 9 songs on an album collection at this point in the year. I'm not sure we'll get to 10 by December 30th, 31st, before New Year's. But we'll see. The next album will be for 2024. Our goal? I don't think we've stated it. We just hope for it. An album a year. 10 songs in a collection. Yeah, another 10 years, 100 songs. We have a few hundred at this point. Not all, of course, worthwhile to listen to, but interesting to us as a creative process. All right, today I want to cover a few things that I found really odd. And I'll start with this one. And maybe this will link into the final name of the tune that Keith gave to the song that I started out with. I started Vibrant. He started with something else, and we'll get to that in a minute. Things I found of interest to me. And this is from, I believe, this is a Board of Education somewhere in Pennsylvania, school board president. They had their selections or their elections of trustees and what have you. And I think it is the Central Bucks School Board. And usually you swear in, you take your oath, and you do it like a court. It's an official public position, so you swear your oath to uphold whatever the standards are for that area. And you put your hand on a Bible. Or as we say the expression, do you swear on a stack of Bibles, as if the more Bibles you pile, the thicker the print version, the heavier the thing, the more weighty your resolve. I'm not sure about that. I was impressed with this because of the attempts by the Republican-dominated school board to ban books. I'm not sure there was a burning involved. That's usually left for some states like Tennessee or Alabama, something down there. However, this one caught my attention because the incumbent, the school board president, was sworn into her position not on a Bible. What? No, instead, she decided to make a statement, which was kind of interesting to me because she chose to swear her oath of allegiance to public education on a stack of banned books. Now that is very interesting to me. The article I found was from, yes, just to show you that I do poke around, Fox News. And I wanted to see what a right-wing take on this would be. And of course, it's talking about the abhorrence of such a thing. But it did report the details, which I was grateful for. At least, in the details you can come to your own conclusions. But there is a photograph on the article that shows Karen Smith was sworn in on as the new Central Bucks School Board president on a stack of the banned books. And I thought, well, there's a good thing. It's at least making the news for good. Like if you're on Fox, it would be for bad. But everybody else would say, this is a good thing. We are saying enough with censorship. Free speech must be a focal point for a democratic society. Yes, you have the right to say all kinds of stuff, including anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTQ, anti-life. You can say whatever you want, but there will be a limit when you start to act on some of the stuff in ways that harm oneself or others. And I thought that was kind of interesting. The second thing that caught my eye was an opinion piece in the New York Times. Yeah, you can take it for what it's worth. I still read it once in a while. Think Nikki Haley is the right GOP candidate to take on Trump? Think again. The columnist is Pamela Paul, and she gives a little rundown on Nikki Haley. I met a friend a month or so ago who thought pretty highly of Nikki Haley, but then this same friend was one who, back in 2015, said, you got to give Trump a chance. And I'm sounding the alarm bells and the 5-alarm fire and saying, no, you can't, no, you can't. And as it turned out, not that I'm a prophet, but I sounded the alarms with all the inclination of spidey senses going off. This is not going to be a good thing. This is not going to turn out well for America. And sure enough, Trump did what he plans to do if he wins 2024, which is make it his Department of Justice, make it his FBI, his CIA, make it his generals, make it all about him and getting people who are loyal to serve him, not the Constitution, not the country, not the people, to serve him. And if you aren't worried, you should be. Nikki Haley, although she sounds like a moderate, is not a moderate. In fact, there's problems with just about everybody, although my own leaning would be Chris Christie at this point. He's the only one sounding the 5-alarm fire bell, saying you can't have a candidate who's got 91 charges for different jurisdictions charging him with criminal acts. You cannot have that as your leading candidate. What are you thinking, Republicans, if this is the way it's going to go? And the way it goes is just by popularity poll at this point. Trump has a significant double-digit lead over everybody, so he's likely to be the candidate for the GOP. How embarrassing for America. How embarrassing for the light on the hill. But Nikki Haley seems to be a moderate, but she's anything but. Wanting to pull the United States out of international relations, wanted to get the UN, get the U.S. out of the UN out of, get the U.S. out of NATO. And she wants to take away health care in America. Moderate? Hardly. All right, let's get back to things not political. Where did Keith go with the song that I introduced at the beginning? Well, here it is.
Losing my will to survive. Kill off your demons and your angels die too. Today is the day we become gods. Peaceful to the point of being insolent. Outsider of kilter, accelerating towards the final lesson. If there's a God, he don't sit with me. Try too hard to hold on to the mystery. I got a floorboard that's squeaky. All in my own home is slightly off key. Outsider of kilter, accelerating towards the final lesson. Look in the mirror to see. I know it can't be you because it looks like me. An outsider of kilter, an outsider, an of kilter, an outsider that looks like me. Looks like looks like looks like looks like looks like
Outsider, off kilter, a little half a bubble off center, someone who feels like they're on the outside of stuff, looking in. The Jim and Terry Show, coming at you. Bye-bye for now.